እንደምን አደራችሁ? A very good morning to you all. Dear Professor Mulumabet Abarra, Vice President for Research and Partnership of Jimma University, dear esteemed Senate members, dear esteemed professors, participants, and staff members of this event, I would like to say welcome to this particular event. We are having a research week today, starting from today, and our research week is entitled Regional Peace and Cooperation for Sustainable Development. Today, particularly, we are at the Collaboration Day, so our whole event will be for this morning on the Collaboration Day, themed from collaboration to impact, scaling partnership for innovation, policy, and industry engagement. On behalf of Jimma University, again, I would like to welcome you all for coming here. Today, we begin this week-long research week with a collaboration day, and this day is dedicated to building bridges between research, industry, policy, and practice. The Collaboration Day is aimed at actually showcasing Jimma University's collaboration projects, highlighting best practices we have in terms of collaboration and partnership, and then also stimulating dialogue on how collaboration can be scaled up. This particular event is also meant to serve as a platform to strengthen existing collaboration and partnership, and also attract new collaborations. I would like to say welcome again, and I would like to take you through this particular schedule. We will be beginning with a welcoming and opening remark from Professor Mulumabet Abarra, and then we will have a series of presentations beginning with a keynote address from Professor Isaias, and we have a list of presentations to come later on, which I will not disclose, but already it is there on your hand. So saying that, I would like to welcome Professor Mulumabet to the stage to say a welcoming and opening remark so that we officially begin our collaboration day. Professor Mulumabet, the stage is yours. Please send her to the stage with a warm welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ashanafi, for the nice introduction. Dear colleagues, good morning. Respected colleagues, researchers, partners, innovators, all those academic staff, admin staff attending this session, and all protocol observed, I would like to say thank you for coming and good morning for this. And it's a great pleasure for me to warmly welcome you to this special collaboration day. As has been mentioned, this is a week-long research week for Jimma University, the second practice in having a week-long events to celebrate research activities. So the first day is dedicated for collaborative research, or the collaborative day, which is organized in a way that from collaboration to impact scaling partnership for innovation policy and industrial linkage. As all we know, this collaborative work is not new for Jimma University, but we need to scale up and reach vast majority. So today with this day is not another day on the calendar, but it's a time we recognize and celebrate the power of working together and being together to advance science. Research by itself is very nature, needs to be collaborative, and also most meaningful discoveries in the world anywhere. If you see that it's innovation also, it's rarely being isolated one. Most of these findings are emerging from collaboration of institutes, collaboration of multidisciplinary, collaboration of individuals working together and having shared vision and purpose to achieve a stated goal. For us, this collaboration day provides a valuable platform to strengthen our partnership between academia, government, industry, and the community at large. It is an opportunity to reflect on what we have been achieved together since today, and to share experiences and to explore new pathways for our collaboration that can address the pressing need of the community and improving the societal life. On behalf of Jimma University, the Vice President for Research and Partnership Office, I would like to extend my warmest welcoming to you all. Okay, I don't think so. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I don't. Okay, it works.
አንድ ሁለት
If I'm not, if I'm audible, I can speak loud, but I don't think so. To laugh it. So, on the behalf of the Vice President Office, thank you and to say welcome for this. Say thank you and welcome to this day for we celebrate our partnership. And also I would like to thank all those keynote speakers, the distinguished partners, researchers, and also students coming here to attend this. Your presence for us is a very important showing of shared commitment, strength of collaboration, and meaningful way of sustaining impacts. As Jimma University, we are firmly committed to foster this meaningful collaboration and enhance knowledge generation, promote innovation, also to contribute to the sustainable development. As you have seen, the grand theme is regional peace and collaboration for sustainable development. Today, in this collaboration day, designated not only to showcase our selected projects, but also it creates a vibrant platform for all of us to dialogue, to learn, to network, and also reflect on how partnership can be best scaled and influencing policies, drive innovation, and also strengthen industrial engagement and linkage. As outlined in the program mentioned by the Master of Ceremony, it will begin with a keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jimma University's collaboration portfolio continues to grow both in scale and significance. To date, we have a record of more than 250 registered projects led by faculty members across all the colleges and institutes. This reflects the strength of our academic community and the trust placed in our research work and the trust built by our partners to work with us. Our program made possible through strong and derived partnership at national level. We have partners partnering with key institutions, not limited with also listed. One of them is Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Arman Hansen Research Institute, and the rest. And also the international partnership also established between several institutions, global funders, and academic institutions. And from this National Institute of Health, European Commission, German Biomass Research, World Health Organization, Gates Foundation, and many others can be listed. So the impact of this collaboration is clearly vibrant. If we see separately the 2025 alone, we have won around 40 projects with different stakeholders, and that have been led by our academic staff. Over the past 3 years, our research have been mobilized more than $10 million with external fundings, resulting in more than 215 formally registered projects which contribute for the life of the society. And this achievement goes beyond the number, the dollars we have spent, but represents the life of people, the policies, and the strengths of system which creates from the newly generated with the partnership projects. Today featured those projects to be presented, both orally here in this room and with poster presentation outside, indicating many issues like malaria, food security, digital health, social responsibility, and others. I encourage all of you to actively engage in this discussion, visit all those project shows, and use this opportunity to build a new connection among yourself and with other colleagues. Before concluding, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all those conference organizers, especially who had more than 8 subgroups, this conference organization from the last week and this week, also the next time for the grand main conference opening. So without the sincere work and hard work and commitment of this committee works, we will not be able to achieve this level. I would like also to extend my gratitude for those researchers, partners, and participants in all the conferences. Let us continue to move from collaboration to impact, ensuring that our partnership translated to tangible outcomes to change the life of community, to shape policies that make things to happen and to improve innovation. With this remark, I would like to say this day is officially open, and thank you very much, and wish a fruitful discussion and an inspiring day. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mulumabed, for the nice opening remarks. Today, we are on a collaboration day, and collaboration is a key for everything. By the way, our event is streamlined live by the Office of External Relations and Communication. So your words are going out to others, and particularly to our partners who would like to come on and join us. So with that, we will keep on to the next event. And before that next event, during tea time, we will have project showcases there, which we will visit there. And our next speaker is Professor Isaias Kabada, and I will briefly introduce his bio very briefly before I invite him to the stage to deliver his keynote address. So it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote addresser. Professor Isaias is a physician, clinical researcher, and academic leader with extensive expertise in internal medicine and infectious disease. He earned his Doctor of Medicine and completed his residency in internal medicine at Jimma University. He further advanced his training with a postgraduate diploma in tropical medicine from London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine in the UK, and a PhD in internal health from Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich, Germany. His academic and clinical work is deeply rooted in addressing clinical health challenges in low-resource settings, with particular focus on antimicrobial resistance and infectious disease management. Professor Isaias has led and contributed to numerous high-impact collaborative research projects funded by international partners, including the European Commission, GIZ, and the Bavaria state government. His research spans antimicrobial resistance, prevention of healthcare-associated infections, COVID-19, immunological surveillance, and innovation in infectious disease diagnostics. Over the course of his career, he has authored more than 110 peer-reviewed publications, reflecting a sustained commitment to advancing global health knowledge. In addition to his research, he remains actively engaged in clinical care, medical education, and mentorship, contributing to the development of the next generation of health professionals. He currently serves as an associate editor-in-chief of the Ethiopian Medical Journal and is a member of the executive committee of Ethiopian Society of Internal Medicine. Professor Isaiah's career reflects a strong commitment to capacity building, evidence-based practice, and international collaborations. These are the values that resonate strongly with today's theme, which he is going to speak on: global trends in university collaborations, industry, innovation, and policy pathways, with our broader theme for today on from collaboration to impact, scaling partnership for innovation, policy, and industry engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Professor Isaiah Kebede to the stage.
Good morning, dear Professor Mulumbabit, all esteemed professors and all invited guests. I think we are too little in a big auditorium. I will connect my PC to the presentation. I think I have 40 minutes, but I don't know how long I'm going to speak. Once I start, I can't guarantee. In case I speak too long, please let me know. In case I take half a day. Full screen. Okay, so Dr. Nashanafi, thank you for the nice and extensive introduction. It's not brief, in fact. As has been stated, I will focus on what are the current global trends in university collaboration, in industry, innovation, and policy pathways. Well, I will not maybe speak a lot about the science behind and the theory behind, because that's not my interest. But before that, I want to declare a few issues, because this is my personal own views, the things I'm going to present. I don't represent any official position or any affiliated institution or my partner organizations or funding partners. And the points are presented based on the global experience, published trends, and my own personal experiences on some of the issues. And examples and experiences shared are intended for learning purposes, because some of the examples I'm going to raise may be something some of you may know or might have experienced it directly. So there is nothing personal, and there is no any conflict of interest from my side as well. And I used also AI to make some of the pictures or modify it these pictures. No, I have to declare this. And the data and figures cited sources are accolades wherever applicable. So going to the point, what is the current landscape in the university? As we know, maybe many decades ago, particularly prior to the Second World War, and even prior to the turn of this century, universities were considered as isolated learning centers of learning, in particular in most low and middle-income countries. However, this has long gone, and universities are now at the core of innovation ecosystem. That's what makes universities or higher learning institutions different from any other sector, because they should act as a link, as the center of the ecosystem, linking the academia to the government, to the industry, to the civil society, as well as to the international partners. If university doesn't do that, survival is difficult. So it is a matter of survival for universities to act as the core of the innovation ecosystem. In fact, in the near future, and probably it has started to also appear as an issue at the Ministry of Education of Ethiopia, that universities that can survive in the years and decades to come are the ones that are based on a partnership that is strategic, scalable, measurable. If universities can't do it, it's difficult to thrive. Now we have seen people kicked out of universities if they don't have any projects. In high-income countries, it has become a trend where you have to have grants, you have to have partnership. If you don't do it in your tenure, you may be forced to lose your position, even though you are a full professor. So why do we need it? Why does collaboration matter? It has been addressed also by Professor Mulumabit and Dr. Ashanafi. Because there is no institution that can solve complex challenges alone. Let alone an institution, countries cannot solve problems alone. We have seen during COVID-19, many were blaming China, but once it was outside of China. Now, China could actually control better than any other country, but the rest of the world could not do it. And we needed each other. Climate change. Maybe we may argue in Africa and many low-income countries do not contribute in that much in the change in climate, but we are the worst recipient of the impact of climate change. And inequalities require joint action. As Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere in the world. So inequalities across the world should be managed by joint action. And these need effective solutions that cross-disciplinary, that cross-sector, that cross-border, and that cross even political barrier. I'm going to show some of the incidents where collaboration across political barriers between borders. So we need each other. So how did the world change over time? Like this is a publication that was published 3 years ago. And they try to assess the global partnership based on how researches were published in partnership with partners within a country and different countries. As you see, between 1980 to 2021, there is a significant change. And see, the change is very significant since the turn of the 21st century now. Around 1980, there were only 400,000 publications by joint authors from different institutions, whether in the country or outside the country. By 2021, it was close to 3 million, more than 7 times fold increment. As you see, the blue line is mainly within the country, but the others, also bilateral collaboration between different countries, has significantly changed. And when we see the proportion of publications that were published by international partners, international authors, it increased from about 4% in 1980 to close to 19% in 2020. And if we also break down this to the trilateral, multilateral partnership, it has significantly changed over time. That's it is the trend globally, not just because people wanted to collaborate, but the nature, the problems we have, the complex nature of the problems we are facing, from climate, from pandemic, from economic, from whatever. People are working together more than any other time. But when COVID came, what do you expect? Did it make this to decline, or did it make it even improve? What do you think? Yeah, because that's one of the reasons why we have to collaborate is to overcome the challenges we are facing. So if you see the how countries collaborate, the center of partnership, as you see, is the US, because that's where the resources, so the huge part, center of the world for partnership, because they have a lot of resources in terms of global research, like through NIH, CDC. So they fund lots of researches, lots of collaborative research. So when you see who partnered with the US, you see China coming very much close to the US, even though they were blaming each other for the origin of COVID-19. But when it matters, they partner. And you see countries that are around this. You see, the picture I think is not a good quality. So US, China, France, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, all high-income countries are around the center. Where do you see Ethiopia? Even though we have the second largest population in Africa, we are behind many African countries. You see, Kenya is much higher than us. Kenya, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, they are closer to the center than us, even though we have probably a population more than Ghana, Zambia, Zimbabwe combined. So we are far away. We are like close to countries with a small population, or countries which have extremely limited resources. So we are far away. So when we summarize this partnership during and since COVID-19, what does it look like? It significantly changed. If you see the first graph, rise in the international collaboration, it was only about 24% in 2018. You see, there was a significant change by 2020 when it increased to 28%, and then it persisted significantly over time. See the China-US partnership, how it matters, even though there is a significant barrier between them in terms of the trade war they are having since Trump came to office in 2017 and COVID-19. Despite that, the highest partnership happened between China, 100 times in terms of the publication. UK comes next, even though UK is the closest to US more than any other country in the world. But China, in terms of partnership, comes second. Why? Partnership is more important than the war we have in terms of politics, in terms of trade, in terms of whatever, because we cannot fight alone. And if you see what are the fields where we partnered a lot in, it is health. You see, health and medicine and public health, most of the partnership, you can see, and comes biotechnology and vaccine, all health, both of them, followed by AI, particularly the current trend over the last 10 years, supply chain and economy, climate supply, and educational researches as well. These are the most important areas countries collaborated. But the concern comes with, the circle. When you see the orange part is all high-income countries. Nearly 4 in 5 partnership happened only between high-income countries, 77%. And how much did we contribute to low-income countries? Only 5%. What proportion do we contribute to the world? Well, for sure, more than 2/3 of the world population. But in partnership, we contribute to only 5%. That's an imbalanced partnership collaboration. And if you see the final part, the net effect, COVID had a net effect, clearly. Problems initiate partnership. Challenges initiate partnership, because we cannot overcome challenges alone. No country, no institution can overcome challenges alone. So we need each other with our problems. So the global and climate change, conflict, all these things will lead partnership, but we shouldn't wait for problems. We shouldn't wait for challenges to partner. We have to partner before challenges happen. But what I want to say here is, even though we have differences in terms of politics, in terms of whatever, partnership will prevail. So just let me emphasize the asymmetry in global partnership. That's the biggest concern. Where are we? And too much stunted, we are not in the picture. If it is about population, we will take the bigger part of the population, but here we don't see it. So to explain that out of the partnership, 22% of the partnership was between high-income countries. And high-income countries have 15% partnership with upper middle-income country and 7% partnership. How often did they partner with low-income countries? It's not even 1%. It's only 0.6%. And see the other way. Low-income countries, they partnered only the partnership was only 5% among low-income countries. So we don't want each other. Low-income countries, they don't want each other. It's only 5%. Where do we go? 54% went to high-income countries. You may argue the money comes from high-income countries. But even when the money comes, actually we don't want to go to sideways to same level of economic status. We go to high-income countries. Second, where did we go? To those lower middle-income countries. And then finally to the upper middle-income countries. So this is a significant. We cannot just blame high-income countries. Also, we have to take the blame ourselves, because if we don't want to partner with our fellow South or low-income countries, partnership cannot prevail. So let me focus on the institution now, universities. What's the current trend? You know this. The current trend is university industry partnership or engagement. We talk a lot also. Each time we have such meeting here in Jimma, we talk about industry university linkage. This is very important. It's not a brainer. This is a common sense, because this is where we can co-create research and development. This is where we can start up incubators and entrepreneurship centers. Because whatever field we are in, we have industries that are beneficiaries. Whether it is in education, we have Ministry of Education. Whether it is health, we have Ministry of Health. In agriculture, we have Ministry of Agriculture. And then, most importantly, we have also industries. Industries doesn't necessarily mean those who produce items, but those who also consume our products as well. They are industries. And so there should be skill alignment with labor market needs. I think I can speak from the health point of view. Now, to one point, we were training a lot of nurses in private colleges, lots of nurses. But the question was it aligned with the industry? And then the Ministry of Health came up with COC exam. And what proportion of the graduates succeeded? People I knew, most of them couldn't make the COC, and they changed it. They were trained 2-3 years in nursing for nothing. And in the end, they ended up either doing accounting. I don't have any problem with any other discipline, but the wastage of resources, waiting for a job. after being in school and college for 2 to 3 years, and spending another 2 or 3 years looking for a job. Why? Because the skill was not aligned with the market. The colleges were opened, and licenses were given by the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Health had another idea, and that created a problem. Who is to blame? All of us. I'm not pointing to anyone. But we have contributed, all of us contributed. And the universities, if they partner with industry, they can also share laboratories. They can also work on continuous professional education. Now, when I partner with partners in the high-income countries, and our partners sit as a board of, in the board of industries. For instance, we have a colleague who sits at the Roche Diagnostic board, executive board. So it's easy for that person to get a laboratory. It's easy also to convey our message to it. We have benefited a lot, even though we don't sit, but the fact that that person sits in that executive board is benefiting not just the industry, the university, and also no partners even in other parts of the world. So by doing this, we can shorten the pathways from discovery to application. Because if we have prototype in the university, and then we are going to beg the industry to change it to business. But if we start together, it's easy because the industry knows from the scratch, and the industry has also vested interest to change into business and into mass production. And another important thing in a partnership, from my perspective, is we have to create the ecosystem, innovation ecosystem. So by innovation, I hope you all share with me that innovation is not necessarily producing a new technology. Idea is innovation. And innovation, if it is shared between sectors, particularly between government, industry, communities, it will prevail. Because universities will generate knowledge and talent. And the government, as we know, they enable policy. They also put incentive in place, even though we can say, there is not that much in terms of funding in our side, but at least there is something that they put into this innovation ecosystem. And industries commercialize the solution, and communities validate relevance and social values. But a common trend in low-income countries is that there is lack of trust between all these partners. They are the heart of the innovation ecosystem, but there is a blame between all this. Universities blaming government, ministry, and the ministry blames universities. It's also occurring everywhere in Africa. And the industry is always complaining because the graduates are not skilled enough. So they had to give additional extensive training to hire the graduates. And the communities, even though we say work with a community, but how much are we trusted by the community? How much does the community trust us? Now in Jimma, we have experience there is CBE, go for TTP, CBTP, DTTP. But how much trust have we developed over the past 3-4 decades we have worked? Does the community trust us? Does the community see it in a very positive way that will be instilled in their brain for the fact that we constructed toilet or held posts? So that's where we have to evaluate our service, because the ecosystem is very important. We start something, and community should take it as its own, and that's the heart of partnership from my perspective. If it is not shared with other sectors, with those in the game, we fail, and we also give up. We will be demotivated. And the universities should act as a policy actors. Universities should not see themselves blaming ministries, because university, all people sitting in the ministry are graduates of the universities. They are a product of universities, even though the ministries lead the universities. So we have to act with confidence as policy actors. And we have to think that we are the ones who shape policy through evidence generation. And we have to focus on certain sectors. We cannot solve all problems at once. There are other things that we can focus on, but the most important ones, global, it's not only for Ethiopia, it's not only for any country, health. Because without health, we cannot sustain development. And then we need education. That's very important. And employment, those who have been educated should be employed. And there should be proper governance in place wherever they go. Be in public, be in private. And we cannot talk about development without raising issue of climate. So all the things we do should be climate resilient. So we have to focus on these important 5 sectors for to enhance collaboration that will help in the development of the country. And effective engagement requires research that is timely, practical, credible, accessible. Universities can do research for knowledge generation or as an academic exercise. But time is running fast. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough resources to waste. So it should be something that is practical, that's credible. With the resources we have, we can produce researches that can change policy, that can change the future direction of the country. And so universities should ask themselves, how do we make this impact practical? I did also the same talk for RC University last time. I asked it the same. How many of our researches end with policy brief? Or how many policy briefs? Do we count it? Sometimes you have researches that are impactful. I'll give you an example, TB research that was conducted by Ethiopian a few years ago. It was conducted around Putajira, and all the time when I was a medical student, there were 3 sputums for TB diagnosis. So we take like today one, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. And this Ethiopian researcher, what he did with colleagues, that most of the patients who are appointed for sputum sample will not come back again because they travel. Let's say like someone goes to Dedo, it's only about 18 kilometers. People will never come back because it's going to spend for the transport, or they cannot stay in the hotel here in Jimma. So what he said, why don't we do it to samples at the time? And what happened? Did the Minister of Health of Ethiopia accept that? No. It is the WHO that took this as an evidence. It was taken by WHO and we took it from WHO, even though it was our own researcher who did this. So we have to have a system where we can communicate. And I also have my own example. During COVID-19, we started a sero survey. Some of you might have been part of the research as well. So we started in August 2020, and we followed our partners, our patients for they were not patients actually, community from Jimma, from Addis, from Jimma Hospital and St. Paul Hospital. And we followed for like 6 months how the seroprevalence, how is the COVID-19 propagating in the country. What we found out was that among healthcare workers, it increased from 11% in August 2020 to about 50% by the end of December 2020. And among healthcare and community members, it increased from less than 10% to close to 30%. So with that, we wrote the email. I remember it was on the 1st of January 2021, stating that, look, the healthcare workers are already affected. And we gave the perspective also. Most of our healthcare workers were between 24 and 40 years of age. So we said our argument, please do not focus vaccine for healthcare workers, because healthcare workers are already infected, half of them, and most of them did not have any serious issue. None of them ended in the hospital. And they had the minister, they acknowledged receiving the evidence. And one of the member of the National Advisory Council called me. Yeah, this is a good evidence, but who are you? And we cannot, it's not lack of credit for the evidence, but it should be properly communicated to the policymakers. It's not like individual researcher that's communicating to that. Because if I put myself in their shoes also, I understand, because maybe I was funded and then I wanted to put the evidence to them. And the way should be like the university should communicate this in a way that could have influenced the policy. And well, we also did something good, like most of us have been in a National Advisory Council for COVID-19 at the ministry or at the Oromia Regional Health Bureau. And we also evaluate program, but how proactive are we? The question is now, we were asked to be a National Advisory member for COVID-19 because they want it. But did we go them? Do we have the office to do this? Do we have created an office that like evaluates policy? I know Professor Zodi and colleagues are evaluating some policies from the ministry, but how proactive are we as a university? I think this is a question that we have to ask ourselves. And how impactful are our researches in terms of policy briefs or whatever? And this should be communicated. And if we have like office for policy and evidence translation, this could increase evidence uptake. Sometimes the ministry complains that there is no evidence, but there are evidences in many of the universities. So this is an area we have to question ourselves and where we have to work on. But there are also opportunities for Africa in general. The fact that we have a young and dynamic population. The median age for Africa is 19 years, means 50% of the African population is 19 years and younger. And this is easy to educate. When you have a young population, education is not that difficult if you have a proper system in place. And most importantly, the digital adoption is expanding in Africa. Maybe we are far behind in terms of other technologies. We are far behind in the quality of healthcare we deliver. But if you see the digital adoption in Africa, we are not far away, really. Like if you go to the schools, then you have lots of smart classes in universities, which may be even difficult in some high-income countries to get out of universities. So there is a significant progress in terms of digital adoption, and this should be seen as an asset. And there is also entrepreneurial energies there also. The desire to be entrepreneur, the desire to develop prototype, the desire to go to business is there. And there is also a good fertile environment. There is a significant unmet need. So if you go to the healthcare system, if you start to solve something, there are lots of things that you cannot even finish thinking about. So that's also an opportunity. If it is not done, and you have an opportunity to be the first one to do it. So African universities can become engines of locally relevant solutions with global impact. What we do here is not just important here, but also of an interest to wherever it applies all over the world. And I will repeat again also, what are the priority sectors? We cannot prioritize every sector. If investing in all sectors, it means you are not investing. We have to